So today we're looking at 15 questions that you can ask yourself before buying just about anything. And these are questions that are really designed to help you be more intentional with your spending. They can help curb spending guilt. And most importantly, they can also help reduce some of those impulse purchases. Now, obviously, I don't expect you to remember all 15 questions or to use them all before every single purchase. But my hope is that you're able to at least commit a few of your favorites to memory and then use them before buying something to determine whether it's worth it. But before getting into my list, you can help me out by hitting the like button and also comment below and let us know which questions have worked for you. I really want to keep this video short, so I'm not going to spend too much time on each one. But the first question you can ask yourself is, can I really afford this item? Now, keep in mind that the answer to this question goes deeper than whether or not you have enough money in your bank account for the transaction to go through, or whether you even have a credit card in your wallet. This question involves honestly considering how a purchase might impact your finances long term, because if you have to borrow money from someplace else or move money around in order to buy something, purchasing that item might make it harder for you to cover a necessity. Another question is, if no one was able to see this item, would I still buy it? And this is an excellent question for really analyzing your motive or your intent, because you have to consider, are you buying this item because you really like it? Or are you trying to impress others? Also, am I masking an emotion? The reason why some people struggle with a shopping addiction is because shopping can release dopamine, which is a feel-good hormone. So the more they do it, the better they feel. But that doesn't mean that it's okay. So before you buy anything, really analyze how you feel. Because if you felt angry or sad before, and now the idea of buying something makes you feel calm and happiness, chances are you are buying the item for the wrong reason. The purchase isn't going to bring long-term happiness, so you're really better off just learning how to cope with the emotion, or else the cycle will continue. Another question is, can I afford to maintain it? And this is a question that so many people forget to ask themselves before making a large purchase, and as a result, they end up getting themselves into trouble. Just because you're able to afford something outright or maybe through monthly payments doesn't necessarily mean you can afford the maintenance. So with any large purchase, you really have to look ahead and try and anticipate the upkeep, because that's really going to help you determine whether the purchase is worth it. Another question is, do I already have something similar? I am so guilty of accidentally buying duplicate items, so I know firsthand that this question can really work, and it's really a great one because it forces you to really pause for a moment and think about what you already have, and in doing that, you might also realize that you don't need as much as you think. Another question to ask is, where will I put this item? Everything that comes into your house will need a place. So before you buy anything, make sure that you have a designated spot already in your mind. And if you can't figure out where to put this item, that could indicate that you already have enough stuff. You can also ask, how much did I have to work to pay for this item? Calculating the number of hours worked to pay for something is an excellent way to keep money in your pocket, because it really forces you to be more mindful about your spending decisions. Because if it takes you 4 hours to pay for an unplanned purchase, you can then decide whether that item is really worth a half a day's of work. Another question is, can I borrow it? One-time use purchases can really add up over time, and they not only rob you of money, they can also clutter your house. So before you buy some special item that you might only use once or twice, ask around to your friends or family to see if you can borrow it instead. Another question is, are you buying something because you actually need and want it, or because it's on sale and you have a coupon? And this is something that I'm also guilty of, but one thing to keep in mind is that a coupon is only a bargain if you're purchasing something that you actually need or something that you were going to buy anyway. You also have to ask, is this the best price? And here's the kicker. If you don't know the answer to this question, that means that you have not done your due diligence by shopping around and comparing prices, which means that you could unnecessarily be overspending for the item. Now, if there's an item that is a want, or maybe it's an unplanned purchase, another question you can ask is Is this item more important than hitting my financial goals? Now, to be clear, there is absolutely nothing wrong with splurging or satisfying a want, but the key here is to really be intentional, and that's going to really help you avoid those impulse purchases. So if you're tempted to buy something on the spot, meaning that it's an unplanned purchase, really think about your financial goals, whether it's to take a dream vacation or maybe to buy a house, and then decide whether that item is really worth more than that goal. You can also ask, is this item multi-purpose? If you're also trying to free up space or maybe reduce clutter in your house, you can also make it a point to buy fewer single-purpose items, and you can even make it into like a little game or challenge. So for 30 days or maybe 6 months, anything new that you buy or bring into the house, make sure it can serve multiple purposes. Another question is, did I read the reviews? I cannot tell you the number of times reviews have saved me from making a purchase that I probably would have regretted. So whether you're buying clothes, household items, or even electronics, make sure you always read the reviews, because if the majority of the people have had a negative experience, there's a good chance that you will too. Another question is, can I wait to buy it? Now, if you have an immediate need for something, by all means go ahead and purchase it. But if you can wait, it does make sense from a financial standpoint, because when you wait for something, chances are you're going to be able to get it on sale in just a few weeks. You might even be able to find the item used, plus it gives you an opportunity to sleep on it. And by sleeping on it, I mean waiting 24 to 48 hours before making an unplanned purchase to see how you really feel about the item. Because one thing I've found is that once I've left a store and the item is no longer in sight, after about 24 hours, I'm no longer thinking about it. And the final question, can you honestly see yourself using this item in a year? You have to think long term, because oftentimes when something catches our eye, we immediately think about how we can wear it or maybe use it now. But if you take yourself out of the present and look ahead, do you really see yourself using this item in maybe 3 months or 6 months or even a year from now? Or is there a chance that you're going to lose interest and then just toss the item aside? And one thing to really help you gauge this is your pattern of using similar items. So if you have a pattern of getting super excited about new items, but then only using them for maybe a few weeks or months before you lose interest, there's a good chance that that will probably happen with this purchase too. So that's all that I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, do consider subscribing. I talk a lot about different money topics. So if you like videos like this, I do post every weekend and sometimes during the week. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in a few days.